Good morning, students. Welcome to the class. In this class, I am going to discuss MCQs from chemical bonding and molecular structure. So here we are discussing only the previous year's MCQs. In your material, you have to check the previous year's MCQs. Yes, see the question. Which chloride should exhibit the most covalent type of bond? Chlorides. Option A, potassium chloride. Option B, calcium chloride. Option C, beryllium chloride. Option D, barium chloride. In all these, the negative ion is common. That is, anion is common. But the cations are different. What are the cations given? First option is containing potassium ion. Second option is containing calcium ion. Third option is containing beryllium ion. The fourth option is containing barium ion. Yes, see this first year group elements: hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium. Second year group elements are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium. In any period, from left side to right side, atomic size decreases. So from lithium to beryllium, the atomic size decreases. In a group, from top to bottom, atomic size increases. That is, from hydrogen to cesium, atomic size increases. From beryllium to barium, the atomic size increases. So by considering the atomic size in groups and periods, here we are taking four elements: potassium, calcium, beryllium, and barium. Which is going to have small radius? Beryllium is going to have small radius. According to Fajon's rule, for a given anion, as the radius of cation decreases, the covalent nature of ionic compounds increases. So according to this concept, we can say that among the given chlorides, beryllium chloride is most covalent in nature. Very important model for JEE and NEET and for KCET. So the option is option C. This is the most covalent chloride of the given chlorides. Next question. Which of the following will be octahedral? Just by seeing the options, you can easily guess the answer. In the NCERT textbook, we studied about SF6, sulfur hexafluoride. It is an octahedral molecule. Octahedral molecules means the central atom undergoes sp3d2 hybridization. So to know about the geometry of the molecule, we have to know about the hybridization of the central atom. Here is a formula to predict hybridization of the following, to predict hybridization, the following formula may be used. The formula is number of hybrid orbitals is equal to half into VE minus plus SA plus or minus C. Here, VE stands for total number of valency electrons in the central atom. SA stands for total number of monovalent atoms. C stands for charge. Suppose if I am going to take SF6, sulfur is the central atom. Its valency is equal to 6. So we have to take half into, instead of VE, we have to take 6 because sulfur belongs to 6th A group element or 16th group element. Its valency contains 6 electrons. So instead of VE, I am going to take 6. Next, instead of SA, what is SA? Total number of monovalent atoms. Fluorine atom is the monovalent. Monovalent means it can form only one bond. Every fluorine can form only one bond. The atoms which can form only one bond, they are called as monovalent atoms. Halogens are monovalent atoms. So here we have to substitute SA value. SA is indicating that total number of monovalent atoms. How many monovalent atoms are present here? 6 fluorines are there. These are acting as monovalent atoms. So that's why instead of this SA, we have to substitute 6. Here 6 is substituted. Then we have to substitute the C value. What the C value is indicating? C value is indicating charge. SF6 is containing no charge. So charge should be taken as 0. The C value in this formula should be taken as 0. Then by doing the calculation, we will get the value as 6. So what is this 6? The number of hybrid orbitals of sulfur, 6. So the number of hybrid orbitals 6 is indicating the central atom sulfur is undergoing sp3d2 hybridization. That indicates the geometry of the molecule is octahedral. So instead of all these things, simply just by seeing SF6, simply you can say it is octahedral. PCl5 is trigonal bipyramidal, TBP, trigonal bipyramidal. BF4 minus is tetrahedral, right? BO3 3 minus is trigonal planar. In the 13th group elements, in the structure of orthoboric acid, H3BO3, you studied about this species. BO3 3 minus is trigonal planar. PCl5 is trigonal bipyramidal. BF4 minus is tetrahedral. SF6 is octahedral. Very, very, very important concept for CET. Next question. Very important model. The bond order in O2 plus is, according to molecular orbital theory, we can write the electronic configuration for O2 molecule as sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2p z2, pi 2p x2, pi 2p y2, pi star 2p x1, pi star 2p y1, sigma star or sigma 2p z0, because here sigma 2p z2 is taken, so that's why here we have to write sigma star 2p z0. Okay, once again, the electronic configuration of O2 molecule is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2p z2, pi 2p x2, pi 2p y2, pi star 2p x1, pi star 2p y1, sigma star 2p z0. So this is the electronic configuration of O2 molecule. And coming to the O2 plus ion is indicating removal of one electron. From where we have to remove the electron? From the valency orbitals. Here among all these orbitals, what is the valency orbital? Pi star 2py is the valency orbital. From this orbital, from this anti-bonding molecular orbital, we are going to remove this one electron. So by removing this one electron, we will get the electronic configuration of O2 plus as sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2p z2, pi 2p x2, pi 2p y2, pi star 2p x1, pi star 2p y becomes 0. And already sigma star 2p z is 0. So this is the electronic configuration of O2 plus ion. Very important one. Please remember this one. Once again, the electronic configuration of O2 plus ion is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2p z2, pi 2p x2, pi 2p y2, pi star 2p x1, pi star 2p y0, sigma star 2p z 0. So for this O2 plus, we have to calculate the bond order. What is the formula? Bond order is equal to half into NB minus NA. NB stands for number of bonding electrons. Na stands for number of anti-bonding electrons. Without star, this two electrons are indicating bonding electrons. These 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 two electrons are indicating bonding electrons. So how many bonding electrons are there? That is NB value. Number of bonding electrons is equal to 10. Number of anti-bonding electrons. Na stands for number of anti-bonding electrons. The electrons present in the anti-bonding molecular orbital are called as anti-bonding electrons. These two are the electrons in anti-bonding orbital. So 2, again here 2 electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbital, 4. Next here 1 electron in anti-bonding molecular orbital, 5. So Na value, number of anti-bonding electrons is equal to 5. So here I am substituting 5 value. 10 minus 5 is equal to 5. 5 by 2 is equal to 2.5. So according to molecular orbital theory, O2 plus is having the bond order of 2.5. So the answer is option B. Very, very, very important model. And one more thing, my dear students, in this O2 plus, here you can see one unpaired electron. Because of the presence of unpaired electron, O2 plus is paramagnetic. Here I'm writing, because of the presence of unpaired electrons, here I'm going to text, because of the presence of unpaired electrons, yes, just a minute. Okay, sorry. Yes, here I'm going to text the message. Because of the presence of unpaired electrons, what you can say, O2 plus is paramagnetic. O2 plus is paramagnetic. Yes, here I'm going to write. So some technical issues are there. Just hold on. Here we have to write O2 plus. Why? Because means here we can find one unpaired electron in pi star anti-bonding molecular orbital. So this is very, very, very important concept. Yes, coming to the next question. Which of the following is paramagnetic? Options: O2, Cn minus, CO, NO plus. Which one is paramagnetic? Means a species which contain unpaired electrons. The species which contain unpaired electrons is said to be paramagnetic. Just now we studied about electronic configuration of O2 molecule based on molecular orbital theory. Here the electronic configuration is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, sigma 2p z2, pi 2p x2, pi 2p y2, pi star 2p x1, pi star 2p y1, sigma star 2p z0, sigma star 2p z0, right? Now see this one. Here you can find one unpaired electron. Here also you can find one unpaired electron. And these unpaired electrons are present in which type of orbitals? These two are called as pi star anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Pi star anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So because of the presence of two unpaired electrons in pi star anti-bonding molecular orbitals, O2 molecule is paramagnetic. Actually, O2 contain how many electrons? 16 electrons. 16 electrons, they should expected as 8 pairs. The 16 electrons, they should expected as 8 pairs. But the 16 electrons are not present as 8 pairs. How many pairs of electrons you are seeing here? Tell me. How many pairs of electrons are there? This is a pair of electron, first pair. This is a pair of electron, second pair. This is a pair of electron, third pair. This is a pair of electron, fourth pair. This is a pair of electron, fifth pair. This is a pair of electron, sixth pair. This is a pair of electron, seventh pair. So O2 contain how many pairs of electrons? O2 contain 7 pairs of electrons. Okay, and 2 unpaired electrons. 2 unpaired electrons. So because of these 2 unpaired electrons, O2 is going to be paramagnetic in nature. Very, very, very important model. Based on this, so many MCQs are there in your material. Please practice. It's coming to the next question. On the screen, you are seeing the next question. Please read the question. The most suitable method of the separation of a mixture of ortho and para nitrophenol mixed in the ratio of 1:1 is. Here a mixture is given. Which mixture is given? Ortho nitrophenol and para nitrophenol mixture is given, and they are mixed in a ratio of 1:1. So here you are seeing the structures. Benzene ring having single bond OH. This is called as phenol. Once again, the benzene ring having single bond OH is called as phenol. This is the functional group. OH group is the functional group. And this is the first carbon. This is the second carbon. Second carbon is called as orthocarbon. Orthocarbon having nitro group, N double bond O, single bond O, or dative bond O. This nitro group is present at ortho position. Don't consider this position as first position, because here OH group is there, here functional group is there. So that's why this position is taken as the first position. With respect to first position, the second position of mono-substituted benzene is called as ortho position. So that's why this compound is called as ortho-nitrophenol. What is meant by phenol? Benzene ring having single bond OH is called as phenol. So once again, the name of the compound is ortho, that is small o hyphen, that is indicating ortho-nitrophenol. Yes, in this ortho-nitrophenol, between this oxygen and this hydrogen, we can see hydrogen bond formation. Which type of hydrogen bond? That is intramolecular. Here oxygen is going to contain partial negative charge, hydrogen is going to contain partial positive charge. So according to the definition of hydrogen bonding between oxygen and hydrogen, between the oxygen and hydrogen within the molecule, we are seeing a hydrogen bond. This type of hydrogen bond, dotted lines, the dotted lines are indicating hydrogen bond. This type of hydrogen bond within the molecule is called as intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So orthonitrophenol is having intramolecular hydrogen bonding. And coming to the second one, para-nitrophenol. Yes, see this one, benzene ring, single bond OH. Up to this one, this is called as phenol. Now, this position is the first position, because functional group is the OH group. Functional group attached carbon is the first carbon, second carbon, third carbon. Next, it is the fourth carbon. Fourth carbon is the para carbon. Para carbon having NO2 group. So this compound, up to this compound is called as para-nitrophenol. Again, here I am taking one more, para-nitrophenol. Between one molecule to another molecule of para-nitrophenol, here we can see hydrogen bonding. The dotted lines are indicating hydrogen bonding. So when the hydrogen bonding is obtained between two molecules, then this hydrogen bonding is called as intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So para-nitrophenol is having intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Orthonitrophenol is having intramolecular hydrogen bonding. Because of the intermolecular hydrogen bonding, association of molecules is going to take place. One molecule is going to be closely associated with another molecule. Then here the molecular formula of the compound get increases because of the dimerization. Here two molecules are getting associated with each other. So because of the intermolecular hydrogen bonding, the molar mass of para-nitrophenol is going to be abnormally increased than the expected value. When the molar mass increases, the boiling point of the compound increases. So para-nitrophenol existing in the form of a dimer because of the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. Orthonitrophenol is existing as a simple discrete molecule because of the presence of intramolecular hydrogen bonding. So here molar mass is less, boiling point is less. Here molar mass is more, boiling point is more. When the boiling point is more, what about volatility? This para-nitrophenol is having more molar mass, more molar mass. This is important point. Para-nitrophenol is having more molar mass because of association of the molecules, because of association of molecules, because of association of molecules due to intermolecular hydrogen bonding. As a result, boiling point get increases. BP stands for boiling point. The boiling point get increases. Boiling point increases means it is less volatile. high boiling point containing compounds are less volatile. So which compound is less volatile? Para-nitrophenol is less volatile. The para-nitrophenol is less volatile. Hence it is having more boiling point. Whereas orthonitrophenol is more volatile. This is more volatile. Why it is more volatile? Because of intramolecular hydrogen bondings. Because of intramolecular hydrogen bondings, orthonitrophenol is more volatile. More volatile means it is going to have less boiling point. So both are isomers. Orthonitrophenol and the para-nitrophenol both are isomers, even though because of the presence of intramolecular hydrogen bondings, this orthonitrophenol existing as a discrete molecule, as a result molar mass is as usual, as expected, and being a discrete molecule, it is going to be more volatile, having less boiling point. Whereas para-nitrophenol is having intermolecular hydrogen bondings between the molecules. Due to this, the para-nitrophenol molecules are getting associated with each other. Due to that, the molar mass is going to be abnormally increased. As a result, the boiling point of the para-nitrophenol increases, indicating that it is less volatile. So simply I can say that para-nitrophenol is less volatile, orthonitrophenol is more volatile. So more volatility, less volatility is indicating that these two can be easily separated by distillation process. Once again, the orthonitrophenol and the para-nitrophenol can be easily separated by distillation process. So the answer is distillation for this question. The most suitable method of the separation of a mixture of ortho and para-nitrophenol mixed in the ratio of 1:1 is, the process used for separation of orthonitrophenol and para-nitrophenol is distillation process. Yes, this is one type of questioning for these two molecules. Suppose if we go for assertion and reasoning type of questions. So here one more question is given on the same concept. So this is another question, and it is purely based on assertion and reasoning type model. See the first statement. Mixture of orthonitrophenol and para-nitrophenol can be separated by steam distillation. It is a statement, and the reason is para-nitrophenol is steam volatile, orthonitrophenol is not steam volatile. Yes, coming to this compound once again, orthonitrophenol. When it is having less boiling point means it is more volatile. Orthonitrophenol is more volatile. The orthonitrophenol is more volatile, whereas para-nitrophenol is less volatile. The para-nitrophenol is less volatile. Now see the reason given in the statement. Reason is given as para-nitrophenol is steam volatile. Is it correct? More volatile compounds are steam volatile. The more volatile compounds are steam volatile, or less volatile compounds are steam volatile. Yes, once again read the statements. A mixture of orthonitrophenol and para-nitrophenol can be separated by steam distillation. Yes, it is correct, no doubt. Whether this statement is justified by this reason or not. The reason is para-nitrophenol is steam volatile, whereas orthonitrophenol is not steam volatile. Orthonitrophenol is having less boiling point. No steam is required. Just by heating. Steam means very high temperatures. The steam is containing more than 100 degrees Celsius temperature. So no such temperature is required. No such heat is required. So orthonitrophenol is not steam volatile. That is correct. Para-nitrophenol is steam volatile. Yes, it is correct. So reason is also correct. But the thing is, if you see the options, both assertion and both reason and assertion are correct. Reason is the correct explanation of assertion. Is it correct? No. Next, coming to both reason and assertions are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation for the assertion. This is not correct. Next, coming to assertion is correct, but reason is incorrect. Reason is incorrect. What is the reason given? Paranitrophenol is steam volatile, whereas orthonitrophenol is not steam volatile. So this is an incorrect statement. So the answer is option C. Okay. Yes, this is most important model. Next question. Yes, here a description is given there for the same question. For the same question. For this question, a mixture of orthonitrophenol and paranitrophenol can be separated by steam distillation. Reason is paranitrophenol is steam volatile, whereas orthonitrophenol is not steam volatile. So for this assertion and reasoning type, here the description is given. All of you, please take the screenshot of this description. Just now I explained. Take the screenshot. Yes, here you can see the answer. The mixture of orthonitrophenol and paranitrophenol can be separated by steam distillation, but orthonitrophenol is steam volatile. The mixture of orthonitrophenol and paranitrophenol can be separated by steam distillation, but orthonitrophenol is steam volatile. So based on this, the answer is option C. Next question. O2 molecule is, already I discussed just now, O2 molecule is paramagnetic. Take the screenshot of this one. Electronic configuration according to MOT, molecular orbital theory, indicating that there is a presence of two unpaired electrons. Hence, O2 molecule is paramagnetic in nature. Yes, next question. Which of the following bonds is most polar? All are covalent bonds. Carbon single bond oxygen, carbon single bond fluorine, oxygen single bond fluorine, nitrogen single bond fluorine. All are covalent bonds. Which bond is more polar? To become more polar, one element should contain less electronegativity, another element should contain more electronegativity. That means the two elements are the two atoms. The two atoms in the bond should contain maximum difference in their electronegativity. Then only such covalent bond is going to be more polar. Here carbon is having less electronegativity, fluorine is having more electronegativity. That's why the difference in electronegativities is maximum. Hence, this carbon single bond fluorine bond is most polar. Very important model. Next question. The relationship between the dissociation energy of N2 and N2 plus is. This model is very, very, very important for JEE and NEET. First of all, coming to N2. Yes, see this one. According to MOT, molecular orbital theory, the electronic configuration of N2 molecule is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, pi 2px2, pi 2py2, sigma 2pz2. Once again, according to MOT, the electronic configuration of N2 molecule is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, pi 2px2, pi 2py2, sigma 2pz2. So from this electronic configuration, we can write the bond order, we can calculate the bond order. The formula is half into number of bonding electrons, Nd, minus number of anti-bonding electrons, Na. Then without star, the electrons are indicating bonding electrons. With stars, the electrons are indicating anti-bonding electrons. So here you can calculate the bond order for N2 molecule. That should be 3. So now from this electronic configuration, we are going to write the electronic configuration for N2 plus ion. Plus ion is indicating removal of one electron. From where we have to remove the electron? From the valency orbital. This is a valency orbital, sigma 2pz. Here in N2 molecule, sigma 2pz is having 2 electrons. So to get N2 plus ion, we have to remove one electron from sigma 2pz. Then we will write sigma 2pz1. So the electronic configuration for N2 plus ion is sigma 1s2, sigma star 1s2, sigma 2s2, sigma star 2s2, pi 2px2, pi 2py2, sigma 2p Z2 becomes as sigma 2p Z1. So from this electronic configuration, we can calculate the bond order. That is equal to half into Nb minus Na. That is equal to half into number of bonding electrons are 2, 4, 6, 8 plus 1, 9 minus antibonding electrons 2 plus 2, 4. So number of bonding electrons are 9, number of antibonding electrons are 4, 9 minus 4, 5, 5 by 2, 2, that is equal to 2.5. So the bond order of N2 molecule is 3. The bond order of N2 plus ion is 2.5. What is meant by bond order? The number of bonds between the bonded atoms. Once again, the number of bonds between the bonded atoms is called as bond order. So in the case of N2, number of bonds between the two nitrogen atoms is 3. In the case of N2 plus, the number of bonds between the two nitrogen atoms is 2.5. As the bond order increases, the bond dissociation energy also increases. Once again, as the bond order increases, the bond dissociation energy also increases. So among N2 and N2 plus, which is going to have more bond dissociation energy? N2 is going to have more bond dissociation energy than N2 plus. So then the option is option C. The dissociation energy of N2 is greater than dissociation energy of N2 plus. My dear students, based on MOT concept, you are having MCQs for two types of molecules, N2 molecule and O2 molecule and their species, that is N2 plus N2 minus, O2 plus O2 minus. Based on this, so many MCQs are there. Please go through your material. You can find, try to practice. If you are getting any wrong answer, then immediately you can call me, we'll discuss. And based on H2 molecule also, one question is there. Bond order of H2, H2 minus, H2 plus is there. Please practice that question also. Yes, this type of models, MOT models, are very, very, very important for NEET and JEE. Next question. Among the following ions, the p pi d pi overlap could be present in. Among the following ions, the p pi d pi overlap could be present between p pi d pi. P pi means there should be the presence of p orbitals. D pi is indicating there should be the presence of d orbitals. If you observe NO3 minus, nitrogen and oxygen, they should not contain d orbitals. If you observe carbon and oxygen, they should not contain d orbitals. If you observe NO2 minus, nitrogen and oxygen, they should not contain d orbitals. But if you observe PO4 3 minus, oxygen contain p orbitals, phosphorus contain d orbitals. So that's why in the case of PO4 3 minus, that is called as phosphate ion, p pi d pi overlapping is possible. So very simple question, simple answer, option B. Next question. Among the following, the electron deficient compound is CCl4. The carbon is tetrahedrally surrounded. That means carbon is going to contain 8 electrons in its valency shell. PCl5, phosphorus is going to have 5 bonds. That means phosphorus valence is going to contain 10 electrons in the molecule. In BeCl2, if you observe the sp hybridization, then you can write the structure of BeCl2 as beryllium, single bond chlorine, single bond chlorine. And you can say, sir, it is a linear molecule. Beryllium valency is having only 4 electrons. But exactly it is not correct. Beryllium chloride is existing as a dimer. See this one, BeCl2. Here you can observe Be, single bond Cl, single bond Cl. This is BeCl2. Again, Be, single bond Cl, single bond Cl. That is BeCl2. Again BeCl2. Again BeCl2. So BeCl2 is existing as a polymeric molecule. It is existing as a polymeric molecule. So in the polymeric state, the BeCl2, the central atom beryllium is going to contain how many electrons? Here 2, here 2, here 2, here 2. 8 electrons is there, octet configuration is there. It is not a electron deficient molecule. But if you observe the discrete molecule of BeCl2, you can find that it is a electron deficient molecule. But BeCl2 never exists as a individual species, discrete molecule. It should not exist as a discrete molecule. The BeCl2 is existing as a polymeric molecule. That's why it is not an electron deficient molecule. But if you observe BeCl3, the BeCl3 is called as boron trichloride. It is a trigonal planar molecule. All of you know the structure. In the sp2 hybridization, you studied about this one. Boron, single bond chlorine, single bond chlorine, single bond chlorine. The central atom boron is having 2 electrons, 2 electrons, 2 electrons. Total 6 electrons are there in the valency of boron. 6 electrons is called as a sextet electronic configuration. The sextet electronic configuration is indicating that still the boron required 2 electrons to get octet configuration. So here the central atom boron is going to contain one vacant orbital. This is indicating electron deficiency. So among all the given options, which one is having electron deficiency means BCl3 is having boron trichloride is having electron deficiency. And because of this electron deficiency, the central atom boron is going to contain one vacant orbital. The vacant orbital is ready to accept a pair of electrons. Electron accepting species is called as Lewis acid, or electron deficient molecules are called as Lewis acids. Once again, electron pair accepting species is called as Lewis acids, or electron deficient species are called as Lewis acids. So the BCl3, that is electron deficient species, that is acting as a Lewis acid. Very important model. So that is all about today's video lecture, my dear students. Every day I'm saying, after watching the video, you have to write down the notes and you have to send the PDF to me. And then please practice some more MCQs, whatever possible to you, right? If you find any difficulty while solving, just take a screenshot, take a picture and send it to me. I will discuss the solution with you. Thank you and all. Stay home, stay safe. Have a nice day. This is your chemistry lecturer, Cesar Naidu, signing off.